All right, good evening. Welcome to C&T Collectibles. This is This Week in Baseball cards, so we don't get sued. So, do you know what that means?
I know what cards are, and
You
I
know
know
cards?
what baseball is.
Okay,
So I know what cards baseball is, or baseball cards.
perfect. All right, so this is where we go over the price action in baseball cards. We got a dozen or so cards. Fundamentals will tell you what should be happening. I think we all know that by looking at the statistics of baseball players. But the price action will tell you what is happening, and that's a big part of this as well. So hope everybody had a great week, but your work is not done yet. Time for homework. So we will start out with our staples, our Mr. Beast portfolio, and number one in that is the GOAT, Mike Trout.
Well, I don't have any homework because it's the end of the
This
week.
is homework. If you're gonna spend money on cards, you better do a little bit of homework, right?
Well, how's my homework spending like $5,000 on my Trout?
Oh yeah, no. So Mike Trout, a very
I don't
firm.
like that homework.
That's right. Well, if you do a lot of homework, then you can afford a Mike Trout. So very strong, well-defined uptrend here. Now, a couple weeks ago, this card was at about 31.50, and we said, you know what? There's a little bit of downside, maybe to 300, but there's upside to 4,000. Last week, he was sitting at 4,000. There's a few sales right on that 3,800 to 4,100 area. Said, you know what? That's probably a little too much too fast. Looked for maybe a little bit of a pullback. But with his PSA 9 at 1,700, there's upside to 5,000. And so 5,000 was the next level. And then like a day later, all of a sudden we started seeing 7,500, 8,000. So I don't know anymore. I'm not even going to pretend to know anymore.
That start price to that current price is just a lot.
That would have been nice. Well, this is why we buy Juan Soto in here. So anyways, so the uptrend is there. There's room for more upside, but this is stretched. So I think there's a little bit of a pullback. If you're looking for Mike Trout, so you have this nice consolidation, that builds up a lot of energy.
And there's just a lot of hills that reach up to like $5,000.
Right, so you see these breakouts, a little bit of a pullback, a breakout, pullback, and then sideways. And so we've had sideways, and so this breakout is not unexpected.
It's kind of like waves.
Right. It's very rolling. It's not this huge, like this wall or anything like that. So one of the things one of the things you have to consider when looking at this kind of stuff is set your scan to log action, because you know the when you have the price levels equal here, you have like 50 and 100 and 200 and 300, and they're all equal. You're getting the dollar amount, but no one ever talks like I made $300 on Mike Trout. You talk about I made 3 times on Mike Trout. I made 300% or something like that. So set your stuff to log, and then you can get the percentage return. So anyways, here's the breakout. Maybe it comes back into here if you're lucky. There's a decent gap here where there were no buyers, so you could see a little bit of a pullback. But if it shoots up to a sustainable $8,000 to $10,000 level in the near future, that certainly wouldn't surprise me, as there's a lot of money in the market. People are looking to diversify out of stocks, bonds, wine, art, all that kind of stuff, and they're looking for the GOATs of it. Look at the Jordan card.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Wayne Gretzky, Mickey Mantle, Mike Trout. And so there's
Babe
a lot
Ruth.
of, not even Babe Ruth. I'm sure that those cards are doing just fine. There's a lot of money coming into these cards, and they're going in for the high end. So
Hank Aaron card?
to an extent, but again, they're chasing these high-end, high-grade stuff, and so we got to be careful. 7,500 is the 7,000 is the current price. 2,100 is the PSA 9. 3-to-1 ratio would indicate around 6,300 or something like that for the PSA 9. So again, a little drop in the PSA 10 wouldn't surprise me, but I think there's buyers that are ready to pounce on this one as they look to diversify out of those other asset classes and go for the GOATs. Yes.
I would rather buy it at like $20
Me too.
and go up and wait for it to go up to that price and
Right.
And then sell it there.
Yeah. Okay, since that's not happening, we're gonna move on to.
Okay, we could go.
Let's move on to Luba. All right, the R in Mr. Beast, and this is his 2018, his 2018 Bowman First Chrome. So we've done his base for a while, and you can see that it's had a nice run based on his call-ups. Here's the beginning of the year last year, and it's just been a lot of sideways action since then. So the bottom of the range here, call it $120 or $150 or something like that, and your top end is around, the high price is around $330, so right now it's about $300. So yeah, it can make it back up to this area here, and that is the top of your range. Now if it busts out, sets up a new range, and so that's what you want to look for here.
$400.
Exactly, your risk reward right here. Here's your reward, here's your risk. So if he starts having a good spring training, baseball gets started on time or whatever, you'll probably see it come up to here. If it breaks out, then you're setting up a new higher range here. So you've had a lot of time to buy this card if you're a believer in Luba.
Which he has a great team, which I'm kind of scared of.
It is a great team, and that could make great players. So we'll see how that works out here. But
kind of scared of that.
Mostly sideways, and there's a ton of buying up here, so I could see it when it gets up here. A lot of people kind of stepping in. So scope that one hard if you're looking for a high grade Luba. So it's PSA 10, $300 roughly. PSA 9, $90. So the 9's slightly undervalued, but nothing to write home about on that one there. So, all right, the B, and that is Mookie. All right, very clear uptrend. You guys are making it easy for me here.
The bets is actually the B, so the Mookie is.
I know, but we had Mike Trout and the T. We couldn't have like TR Beast or whatever, so we had to take some creative liberties here. So bottom of the range, top of the range, bottom of the range, top of the range, sideways to the bottom of the range, and now he is breaking out. So this makes sense.
To about 700 or 800
or even 865. Yeah, so we looked at this one last week, and right in here we're like, consolidation could go up, could go down. It decided to go up. Took one purchase to kind of go up there, and it squeezed up. The interesting thing, the PSA 9, we said, you know what, decent value on that one because that was sitting at like 225. Now it's 300, so it's really right at that 3-to-1 ratio here. So you're breaking out to new highs on Mookie. As people are getting priced out of Mike Trout, they're going to go to the number 2 player in the game, and that is Mookie Betts. And so this one has a tremendous amount of upside. If it's able to hold this, and maybe it comes back down into this range here, I don't know. But if it hangs around in here and you see a lot of buying picking up, this thing is going to start to go. And you could be looking at a $1,000, $2,000 card. The print runs a little bit higher than the 2011 Mike Trout, but this is number 2, and people will start to gravitate towards that one if that Mike Trout continues to be unaffordable. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
And Eloy Jimenez on that same great team as Luba.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of scary.
It is. I like Eli even more, and you can get his PSA 10.
But it's also kind of scary.
It is kind of scary. So a lot of sideways.
The Twins a lot.
Well, you're not pitching for the Twins, so you don't have to worry about them. So a lot of sideways actions here, and then we're seeing some compression where if the price breaks down, then you kind of head down to that $40, $50 level, in which case I'm going to buy more. But otherwise, I would expect this. Here's a guy that could hit 285 with 40 home runs. I'll say this every week. Should be a lot higher. You're looking at like
that's basically like 2019,
right,
where everybody just started to bounce. I bet he can make more than 20.
Oh, I think there's very little. If he's healthy, I think that's in the cards. So, but you're looking at like Bo Bichette and Luba, and these guys are $100, $150 for their PSA 10. It's like I don't get this. I mean, this is too cheap. So. Last sale on Eloy was $66 for a PSA 10, $22 for the PSA 9, so it's a perfect 3-to-1 ratio here, but I think that's too cheap for him. So if you're looking for value in this market, we should be looking for value in this market. I think that is a reasonable target to look at Eloy and some of his parallels. So all right, for Acuna, we're going to mix it up and go with the bat down.
Instead of bat up.
Bat down. See, the bat is going down.
Instead of bat up.
Instead of the bat going up. So
down.
exactly. So they kind of had 2 shots here or whatever. Here's like the bat up, and then here's the follow through. So monster spike, and it really has been a lot of sideways.
2 cards on like 1 at bat.
Exactly. It's a 2-for-1. That's how you save on film. You just take 2 shots.
The highest price is about like $900.
The high, yeah, exactly. $899.99, which is probably some sort of buy it now on eBay or something like that. And so it's come off a little bit. So we've had a lot of sideways action here. And you can see that the price is, grinding its way north, which is good to see. So a little breakout, and then
really breaking out there.
It is
at like 600 to 900.
Yeah.
And then it goes back down.
You can
to
see that it's
700.
coming off a little bit here. So while the trend is up, maybe you get a little better price at it, and we'll kind of see how that goes. But a lot of people would consider that to be his true rookie there. So the Acuna is 2100 in a PSA 10. I think this is the PSA 9, and so you have 736. So roughly a 3-to-1 ratio is there on that one. So that is right. Yeah, so you can see a little more downside, and if you do, then you're probably going to buy. Breaking below this is a lot of trouble. He probably has to get hurt or something like that. But otherwise, it's just going to probably grind north for the most part. So exactly. All right, the S, Juan Soto, and we're going to look to his 2016.
Juan Soto.
Exactly, Bowman Chrome first. And this is a pretty well-defined uptrend here. And then you had some, so when you get these uptrends, you have a lot of consolidation and then a breakout, and here's your consolidation, and here's your breakout. Coming to the top of the range here, you've had just minimal buying here, really. So you had one buy, one sell, one buy, and maybe it comes off a little bit.
Maybe you could do another sell.
You could have another sell. You could have it come off just a little bit here. So its current price is $3,000, and his PSA 9 is, oh, excuse me, this is the raw. So $3,000. His PSA 10 is $9,000. So you have a 3-to-1 ratio on a raw card. So that should be a PSA 9, but there's probably not a lot of these going around. So that's just how that's going to go. So
that's the first Bowman Chrome.
Exactly.
First ever Chrome.
Yeah, so 3,000. So maybe $2,500 or something like that is your downside, and I think this thing just continues to trend upwards here. So again, look at the trend. If it breaks out of this, and then you've got some problems. You got $1,000, and then even lower perhaps. But for now, you're going up lower left to upper right. So, all right, Tatis. What do you think of Tatis? That's all right.
I think he's good too.
He's very good. Very clear uptrend. So you had this uptrend and then this compression and a breakout, and now you're looking at a bigger level of compression here. And it hasn't quite broken out yet. It's really matched these previous highs.
It's kind of like Mike Trout with those hills.
Exactly.
Except there's one hill that's pretty big.
Then you had the compression down in here, and now it's breaking out again. So maybe you'll make a little run at this highs. Now, the thing is, all right, if you bust above this level here, then you're going to see this card start to explode to the upside. People that that sold up in here, they're going to start chasing, and you could really start to see some chasing. And
it could go up to $500, $600.
It could be, and I don't think that would make a ton of sense here. So
price is like
$250. Yeah, the high was 300 right here. The low is 250. So above this, you better get on board because it's going.
It's gonna go nuts sometime.
Exactly. So again, this little pattern here breaking out should see new highs, perhaps in the near future. But as long as it comes down, as long as it remains in this uptrend. So again, below this, tune in every week. We'll keep you posted. Below this is bad news for Tatis. So right now you can look at his PSA 10 $250, PSA 9 $83. That's a 3-to-1 ratio. No advantage to either. All right, let's get into some extra innings here. Lauren Arenado, anything happened with him this week? I don't know. Yeah, weird spike. I don't know what happened.
Like everybody lost. Like a lot of Cardinals got lost, but like they don't have Lauren Arenado because they said they were gonna get him.
Here we go. He got traded, and everybody thinks this is the greatest thing ever. If you look at his home road splits, it shouldn't be surprising to see on his home road splits that he is not as good on the road as he is at home, batting-wise. His defense should be stellar. He's on a Hall of Fame track. This should be a $250 card. No problem with that because of his Hall of Fame, credentials with the Gold Gloves and all that kind of stuff here. So it is. So very clean uptrend, a lot of consolidation. There's news right up to here. Now that probably wears off in the near term here. There wasn't a lot of buying here, so you can call that kind of a little bit of a gap, and when you see these gaps before, they tend to get filled. The market has a lot of memory. There's no buying in here, and so it'll come back down to that area. So not a lot of buying in here. So you could see it come back down a little bit if you're looking for an Arenado. But I mean, as the now a little bit bigger team, a little more national focus, he could start to get the recognition that he's deserved for a while. He's gone up with the rest of the market lately, but now he starts to outperform on his own. So $250 for the PSA 10, $70 for the PSA 9, the PSA 9, a little bit cheaper. There's probably a little bit more value in that one here. So, but I think the PSA 10 may pull back just a little bit as the recent news wears off.
Next one is
Roger Clements. So yeah, we're not doing our 3 up and 3 down this week because it was actually kind of boring. But this was your number one riser for the week.
Since we have extra players.
Exactly. Look at this. Wham! So the PSA 10, 1985 tops Roger Clements, and so
that is not in Mount Everest, it's a rocket ship.
You could
now those are
and he's the rocket. So $90 you could have gotten this for at the towards the end of
I have just
2013. You can name them rocket ships.
I got Mount Everest, and now I'm looking at rocket
That's a
ships.
moonshot to the moon. I think that's what the kids say these days. Then you had this
rocket ship.
Well, to the moon. Consolidation, breakout consolidation. Too much of a breakout here. There's one buyer that pushed this up. That sale was for about $2,799.99, which says probably a buy it now. And I think this one really comes back. So Roger Clemens, PSA 10. Wait. PSA 9 will cost you $70. And so that is an incredibly wide ratio. So, I mean, honestly...
PSA 9 is $70?
Exactly. PSA 9 is mint. I wouldn't touch this.
And 1 to 10 is like $2,800.
Exactly.
That's very underrated.
The 9 or the 10 is overrated.
Overrated?
Could be. It could be.
Or the
Aussie Albee.
PSA 9
We gotta find some cheap cards for people here. I'm cheap too. I gotta find some cards. This is getting insane here.
Well, why don't you just wait until everyone wins the lottery?
Oh yeah, that's right. I should just wait for that. Oh, Aussie Albee is nice uptrend, sideways area. Now you're seeing prices compress a little bit. We'll try and wrap this up here. Prices compress and should look for a breakout to these previous highs around was it $80 or something like that. One of the brighter young stars in the game. So we'll see how this goes. I should have an excellent season. That price could move even higher right now. $45 for his PSA 10, $15 for his PSA 9. Good 3-to-1 ratio here, so it doesn't matter which one you buy, but I would look for higher prices from Aussie Albee. He's a nice future. I mean, he's a star right now, even more of a star in the future at a pretty reasonable price. Again, Griffey, one of the GOATs here. Long basing pattern here. Here's a channel, breakout. Here's another channel, breakout.
It looks like it's exactly like the Jerry Rice painting, except not
Right.
in the same exact.
It's a little more controlled here, so there's a lot of sales here.
Henry, I like your heart.
There's a lot of sales in this area here, so even if prices do decline, which they when you have these big moves, they do come back to some level here. With a lot of these buyings, it should kind of stair step its way down. So a lot of sideways action. This is the PSA 9, which is $430. PSA 8 costs you $135. PSA 10, $4,750. So I think there's a lot of interest in the 9 as that 10 becomes a bit more unaffordable. You could see a little bit of a pullback in this one, but it is kind of moving its way.
And he is a Hall of Famer, so he deserves that.
Exactly, but for sure, there's no question about it. And we will wrap it up. We're gonna get away.
Yeah,
we're gonna get away from baseball for just one here. This is the GOAT of basketball.
Instead of the GOAT of baseball.
Exactly, you could have had this. This is the
He's
PSA.
the best basketball player ever.
That's right. I'm bringing you up. I'm bringing you up well. I'm bringing you up well. PSA 8, so you could have had this for a relatively cheap price for a long time, and then all of a sudden everything started to go nuts. You know, top of the range, bottom of the range, top of the range, bottom of the range, and then moonshot. So you had this compression and a move up, and then now you've got another compression, move up, rocket ship to the moon. So this is now, you know, the PSA 9 is about $68,500. The PSA 10 is something like $700,000. The PSA 8 is $25,000. So, you know, it is what it is. There's a lot of buying in here. Even if it does come back, there's a lot of people willing to step in. And I think Jordan's just going to go nuts for a while. And one of the things that you need to kind of look for is this is the money supply. You want to know why things are going nuts? Here it is. This is the supply of money in the economy. And it really started growing lately. Okay, here you go. So people are getting stimulus checks. There's more money in the economy. This is why people are moving into these higher end cards. Because dollars, as this supply increases, the value of dollars go down.
That looks exactly like Card Ladder.
Very similar, except way more boring. So the price, you know, as the value of the dollar goes down, people are going to protect that by moving into assets that are appreciating, and cards happen to be. Economics is kind of boring, dude. Not gonna lie. So you can kind of see the similar. Here we go. Boop, boop. So as that money supply increases, then people are just gonna try and look for things to protect their money.
Ooh.
So there it is. Exactly. So, all right. When we see that money supply start to go down, watch out. All right. Watch out. All right. Hey, everybody, have a great week. Pencils down. Your work is done. Good job, everybody.
You invest in cards.
Class dismissed. Have a great weekend.
Bye.